Hi guys, welcome to my first video cast episode here in my YouTube channel, Thoughts with Gemini. Time check, it's 1:50 a.m. and today is September 1, 2020. And yes, anything that I upload here will also be available on Spotify, Google Podcast, and Anchor. And yes, today our episode is about how to pursue a strong and independent woman. So, yes, before I discuss it or bago ko ibigay yung mga tips for you guys, so especially this episode is for guys out there who are actually listening to this podcast episode. I will be giving you different traits and characteristics of a strong and independent woman so that you are aware and you are ready as well before dealing with them. So, let's start. Okay, so first and foremost, pag sinabi nating strong and independent woman, so ito yung mga tipo ng babae na kayang mag-isa, kayang manood ng movie mag-isa, kaya pumunta ng resto mag-isa, and kaya niya lahat gawin. So, that is why tinawag siyang independent. So, wag na nating patagalin. So, the first traits and characteristic of a strong and independent woman is, number one, she's very vocal with her preferences and opinion. So, I think it's pretty natural na pag ang babae is strong and independent woman, she can always do what she wants, and at the same time, she can say whatever she wants. So, kung ano yung gusto niya, nasasabi niya, and at the same time, kung ano man yung mga preferences niya and opinion niya, she's very vocal with it. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of personality. So, I think for me, that is being transparent to whatever you want. And, yes, if you want to get to know more on that particular strong independent woman, kung may gusto kang malaman tungkol sa kanya, you have to just ask, right questions. And you will have, of course, you will be getting a right and correct answer. Next, a strong and independent woman can actually finance themselves. And they don't care how much money you have in the bank. And I think they are not really impressed about it because karamihan kasi ng mga strong and independent women, may mga sarili silang trabaho, may mga trabaho sila, may career sila, and that is the reason why kaya nilang bilhin yung lahat ng gusto nila. And the question is, what are the things that you can provide that they cannot provide for themselves? So that is a great question. And you have to assess yourself as a guy if you can deal with that kind of woman. Next, number 3, they are really goal-oriented and career-oriented. So, career-oriented, so karamihan sa kanila is successful. Yung iba may business, yung iba may career or may natapos na degree, and they are professionals. So, kung may bala ka man ligaw, make sure na papasa ka sa standard nila. And for them, normally that standard is pretty much normal for them. So, lahat naman ng babae at lalaki may standard. Pero, strong and independent women, they have certain standards or they have set of standards na kailangan mong makapasa kung gusto mong pumasok sa buhay nila. That's it. Next is, yes, yung mga sinasabi ko na to, these are the personality actually. These are the characteristic and traits of a strong, independent woman. And another thing is, personality-wise, they are dominant. They are competitive, and for me, there's nothing wrong with that. So ask yourself if you're a or if you're a type of guy who can actually deal with a dominant personality. Mahirap kasi yung madali kang ma-offend. Like, they will ask you questions, some few questions, and then if you're the type of guy who are actually um, offended or mabilis kang ma-offend, so um, maybe that is the time for you to level up or step up your game. And just heads up, so like if there's or if there are issues sa side mo or sa sarili mo na konting tanong lang sa'yo, may mga bagay na mabilis kang parang, yes, mabilis kang ma-offend, mabilis kang ma-hurt. So, I think you have to think about it. Kung gusto mo bang manligaw sa ganong klaseng babae. So, you have to be brave at all times. So, yun, those are a few characteristics of a strong and independent woman. However, these tips and information that I will be giving to you guys, ito talaga yung mga pinaka-major info na you have to take note. Ito yung tingin ko core values, not core values, pero ito yung mga bagay na pinahahalagahan nila, or let's say these are the major facts and information that you have to know bago kayo manligaw sa mga strong and independent women. So, number one is you must know her love language. And say for example, ang love language niya ay affirmation. So, it is not actually a dogmatic issue. Like, it's not the only love language na meron tayo. So, there are women who really love, appreciating them, taking care of them, ganon. So, the first thing that you have to discover is the love language na meron sa strong and independent woman na nililigawan mo. Or kung let's say friend mo pa lang siya, so that is the best time for you to know her well, and para malaman mo kung ano yung mga dapat mong gawin. So, first thing first, of course, you have to know more about her. Next, of course, preference and food. Of course, you have to be aware what are the food that she really loves to eat. Kasi, although nabibili nila lahat ng gusto nila, so it is better for you to know if on diet ba siya, ano ba yung mga paborito niya. So, para kapag yayayain mo siyang kumain, alam mo kung saan siya dadalhin. So, and I think lahat naman ng babae nagiging marupok pagdating sa pagkain. I'm really not hindi ko naman generalize lahat, pero most of the time, pag food talaga yung pinag-uusapan, there's that is actually a magic word for a girl or for a woman. So, make sure that you are prepared with the type of food that you will serve for her, or kung saan mo man siya gustong dalhin, kung saan kayo kakain. So, may mga babae din naman na napaka sensitive pagdating sa mga food. And hindi mo basta-basta mapapakain sa turo-turo or hindi mo basta-basta mapapakain sa tabi-tabi. So, better if you have ask few questions before asking her for a date. So, that's it. That is actually the second tip. Next, ito yung siguro dapat mo munang tanongin yung sarili mo na sure ka ba sa kanya? Because you might shock with the different question that she might ask you in the middle of, the legal session. So, you have to be sure with your core values and identity. How you really know yourself, if you can handle her, if you're a type of guy that can deal with that kind of woman. So, kung torpe ka ba, kung kaya mo ba tanggapin yung mga tanong, or kung kaya mo ba sagutin yung mga tanong na itatanong sa'yo. But because there are few questions that might offend you, like about career, how much, or not how much, but what are the things that you do for yourself, or may achieve ka na ba? Ano ba yung mga hilig mo? Yung mga personal questions na akala mo hindi pwedeng itanong sa'yo, you have to expect it. And you have to know what are the values that you have. So, sometimes kasi, madali lang silang makaamoy, or they can really smell you if there's something wrong with you. Like, if you're not really serious, or if you're just, make ligaw to, alam mo yon, yung parang option mo lang, or trip mo lang. And if you're not really sure about yourself, so do not ever commit with a strong and independent women, because it's really hard to deal with them all the time. Not all the time, pero may mga bagay na madali nilang mat-track or madali nilang mat-trace kung pinaglalaroan ba sila, kung seryoso ba sa kanila. There are questions that might parang magiging sa'yo, parang may mga question na medyo mababother ka kung anong isasagot mo. And I think they really like it because, a strong and independent woman can talk about anything and can ask anything. And at the same time, they don't fear in any conversation. And kasi, ang strong and independent woman ay may mga paninindigan yan. So, once you cross the line and you're not sure with your intention, they can easily kick you out. And then, you have to be ready for that. And, of course, you have to be brave all the time. And, minsan kasi, naniniwala ako na kung ano man yung values and beliefs ng isang lalaki, minsan nagmumula yan sa pamilya. If he is actually raised with a good family, so malamang sa malamang, maganda yung klase ng mga bagay na pinahahalagahan niya, yung mga values na meron siya para sa sarili niya. Like, marunong manindigan, may isang salita, and at the same time, kayang panindigan ng lahat ng bagay-bagay. So, those are the things that you have to ask yourself. Hindi yung lalapit ka kasi nakita mo na, wow, strong, ganon. Hindi ganon yun. You have to ask yourself first if kaya mo bang i-handle yung attitude nila or yung personality itself. So, that's it. And a strong and independent woman is, they are very self-guarded. Mga ano sila eh. Parang all the time they are ready on whatever happens. Kung ano man yung mangyari. So, they can easily accept anything. Like, it's a win-win situation eh. Siyempre, sometimes they are very advanced and alam nila yung gagawin nila kapag may nangyaring hindi maganda or yung mga bagay na gusto nila ay hindi nag-work. So, there is always a plan B. And sometimes it's, now or never. So, that's it. So, and this is very, important. It's a cliche. However, I think it's very natural. So, at the end of the day, a strong and independent woman is actually looking for a guy who can actually give her affection and love. And, of course, attention. And, sometimes na-overlook yun. Kasi nga iniisip ng mga lalaki na strong and independent woman naman yan. So, parang iniisip nila na hindi kailangan ng lambing, hindi kailangan ng attention. Kasi nga parang kaya naman niya mag-isa, okay naman sa kanya kahit ganito. No. You have to, of course, always remember that even a strong and independent woman is brave enough to face anything or everything. Of course, at the end of the day, women like that are looking for lambing and the sweet thoughts. So, do not take for granted about, affection, attention, and love. And, minsan kasi na-overlook siya. Parang hindi na siya napapahalagahan dahil sa sobrang, alam mo yun, sa sobrang taas na ng tingin mo dun sa tao na parang feeling mo hindi siya nasasaktan or what. But, women are vulnerable. So, madali lang din silang masaktan and, yun nga, karamihan madali ding ma-fall. So, depende yan eh. May mga iba-ibang level kasi ng, parang, yun, iba-ibang level ng being a strong and independent woman. So, but, ayun nga, so, these are the things that I can actually impart to you guys. And I hope it really helped you a lot. And, another thing is, you have to be decisive in your true intentions and sense of direction. So, yun nga yung sinasabi ko na they can actually smell if you are doing something wrong or if something is not right. So, yan. You will be asked a question like ano ba yung patutunguhan ng relasyon? Ano ba yung kaya mong gawin? So, saan ba pupunta if ever nasasagutin ka? So, you don't have to wonder why she's asking that question to you. And you have to be ready. Kapag ang intention mo ay maganda, edi mabuti. Kapag ang intention mo ay hindi maganda, then you have to face the consequence. Next. And, of course, you have to make things right. And, if you're a type of a guy who has a difficulty in confrontation, so it's your first time, of course, sometimes you might be tameme pag kinakausap ka sa mga bagay na hindi mo kayang sagutin. I think it's pretty normal for you. If ever na parang hindi mo alam sasabihin mo, but be ready for a conflict resolution. Like, say, for example, halimbawa, naging kayo na, magaling ka ba mag-handle ng relationship? What if pag ganito yung nangyari, kaya mo nyo bang pag-usapan? Kaya mo bang makipag-usap? Or, to open a conversation about the problem. Because you know what, strong and independent woman is really good in handling conversation. So, magaling silang mag-fix ng mga bagay-bagay na nadadaan lang sa usap. And you have to be strong inside, but, not that kind of mayabang. So, something like that. And, of course, sometimes a strong and independent woman can get hurt. Siyempre, hindi naman maiiwasan yung ganon. Despite the fact that they are strong and, of course, they need someone to lean on. So that's the reason why you're there for them. You are there and you are offering yourself because that is your responsibility. And that's why if you want to be needed, you have to show it, of course. Syempre, kung tingin naman nila na parang hindi ka naman nila maaasahan sa part na parang may masasandalan sila pag may problema sila or meron silang pwedeng makausap if ever na may problema sila, you have to ask yourself first kung ikaw ba yung type ng tao na nakakapagbigay ng resolution sa mga certain problems, ganon. So, whether strong or not, that is actually the core principle of, pursuing a strong and independent woman. And, another thing is, hindi naman maiiwasan na magkaroon ng drama sa relationship. Like, halimbawa, matagal na kayo or halimbawa, ilang buwan pa lang kayo. So, there are times na magkakaroon kayo ng conflict. Pero ang strong and independent woman, ayaw nilang masyadong madrama. So, siguro may time na may drama pero hindi madalas. Because they are really matured enough and yun, they can handle themselves. Parang kaya naman nila na i-handle yun sa sarili nila. So, they don't need the drama anymore. That's it. And next, you do not have to change yourself, I think. Yeah, you don't have to change yourself. Just be yourself. And you have to express it. Whatever thoughts that you have, but develop your potential. So, as you go through season of pursuing a strong woman, do not forget that the things that you have learned in the process, mapasagot mo man siya o hindi, it's actually a lesson and skill that you acquired. So, ayun yung mga natutunan mo. And if hindi mo man siya mapasagot ngayon, and maging lesson learned yun para sa'yo. So, next time, masasabi mo sa sarili mo na you can handle it if ever na makaka-encounter ka ng strong and independent woman. And the most important thing for me, I think, before I end this podcast episode is, tingin ko, you have to be always true and you have to, of course, show her the true intentions that you have. And, yun, pag hindi naman okay, o hindi naman maganda yung intention mo, or parang hindi ka naman seryoso, huwag mo na i-push through, I think. Because parang, magiging, lang siya, waste of time. And at the same time, dahil dominant ang personality ng strong and independent woman, baka ma-offend ka pa at the end of the day or in the long run. So, I suggest, before you pursue a strong and independent woman, you have to, of course, ask yourself if you can handle her or the traits and characteristic or the personality. So, kapag alam mo sa sarili mo na parang hindi mo kaya, wag mo nang ituloy because it will lead you to a suffering. Hindi mo sinasabi ko na parang ang worst ng mga strong and independent women. So, parang ano yan makikinikinita mo na yung magiging sitwasyon mo if ever naman liligaw ka or makikipagrelasyon ka sa mga tulad nila. So, I hope this podcast episode help you in, of course, developing your personality as you go through courting, and or if you have any plan in the future, or kung may napupusuan ka na ngayon, or may nililigawan ka na ngayon, or meron ka ng mapapangasawa na strong and independent woman. So, ayun. So, those are the things that you need to learn, and I hope it would help you a lot. And, of course, do not forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel, Thoughts with Gemini. And, of course, you can listen this podcast episode in Spotify, Google Podcast, and Anchor. And, you can actually check my Facebook page, Thoughts with Gemini. And that's it. And it's, time check, it's 2:16 a.m. So it's been 2 hours. So, yan, natapos na yung podcast episode natin today. And thank you so much for listening or watching. And you have a good day. No, you have a good night. No, good morning na pala. So, good morning na. September 1, so bare months na ngayon. 3 months to go or 4 months to go, December na. So, ang bilis. Sobrang bilis. So, that's it.